It's Dan the podcast, man, and I'm all about highlighting people's journeys, and I'm on the hunt looking for incredible people with stories that deserve to be told. It is time to highlight another journey today, and I have a friend of mine. I met him at an airport. And now, ironically, he does it for a living now. Well, you don't really live at the airport, do you?
No, I don't live at the airport. Sometimes it seems like that.
I got Chris Page here.
Yeah, that was at JFK, Terminal 1, not too far from here, actually, in 2016.
Chris, what do you do?
I am a commercial airline pilot now, former firefighter paramedic.
You have a lot of titles next to your name.
Not as bad as like a nurse where they have a bunch of like, what is that? Like the nurse has a bunch of letters there. I just have the long title, but
I got some letters at the end of my name.
you know,
It's nothing special.
too many letters and
It confuses
you
people.
sign it with it and demand to be called doctor.
You're supposed to be nice on here.
Oh.
You're supposed to be nice. I was already told that. Well, thank you for coming on. Oh, he flew all the way from Las Vegas to come here. That's the exact reason why you came here, right?
Yep. Doesn't happen to line up with an overnight or
Absolutely not.
scheduling or anything
There is
else.
no convenience of anything of you being here today. It's just you directly got on a plane. You didn't even fly the plane. You just say, I have to go see Dan. Dan wants me on his podcast, and you dropped everything.
Yep. Here I am.
Fantastic.
Just left my family and everything else just for the week.
Chris, you have, well, I know you for almost 10 years now. It's crazy to even like.
Yeah, 2016.
2016 is when I first met you. We were on our way to Tomorrowland, and of course, you got to make friends with the group. And you and your wife Hillary were at the airport, and everybody's just drinking, having a good time, and it's just camaraderie right there.
Yeah, it was. We had figured out that it wasn't a private chartered plane or anything just for the festival. We were on it with regular people going to Brussels.
That bummed me out so much. So to give some context to this story, Tomorrowland, the music festival, always promoted like the flight. And I thought it would be like an official Tomorrowland plane where there's a DJ and all this stuff. And you get to the airport and we're like, oh no, these are just people like normal Europeans that are going to be traveling. And I was just like, what? And then you told me what? Those planes are only like in Germany or something,
I
right?
think they do a couple party flights, but it's only local charters in Europe for like a half hour. The big plane that I oddly enough can fly now is the 260 people on it or 300 people on it. There's not enough people going to Tomorrowland from New York that they can rent the whole plane out and do it that way. So,
But it's like, can you party on a plane for 8 hours straight?
if you can, let me know because I haven't figured out how to do that. And then, yeah, they dropped us off in Brussels right on Thursday morning, and it's go, go, go. There was no rest or anything. It's just, here you go, festival time.
Well, thank you for coming on, man. You have, I think, an incredible story that I'll highlight, and I'm fascinated by it because I don't know the full story, and I think I'm going to get to know it all as I ask you some questions and make some chit chat. So let's back it up. Where? All right, you told me in the car, but give it out there. Where did life start for you?
All right. Well, I grew up in California, typical Orange County. My parents were decent, well-to-do people, and went to school there. And oddly enough, I wanted to be a pilot, but I graduated high school in 2002.
Wait a minute, you knew you wanted to be a pilot at that age?
I had considered it. I was always fascinated by airplanes. I was always the kid looking up at the airplane during school and my teacher would yell at you.
I'm smiling because like if I pull up my, they gave yearbooks back then in my elementary one, it's like, what do you want to be a grow up? I put pilot too.
So I wanted to do it, but that was right after 9/11. It was not a good time to be a pilot. The industry it's got its ups and downs.
Literally.
Talk about the puns, but not a good time. Pilots were all laid off after 9/11. So
Really?
yeah, not a good time to jump into that industry.
So then what, like, so since knowing that knowledge, like what happened like then? Like you just,
I went to college and partied and failed out. And
Great.
It was awesome. I had a great time. But after about a year, my dad pulled the plug on any finances.
So where'd you go to college?
I started at Cal State San Marcos, which is just in North County, San Diego. And
You're just a California guy, aren't
yeah,
you?
I was living the life. I was having fun, and it was great. But I had a 3.9 in high school, and then I go to college, and I'm like barely skipping by with a 2.0.
What were you in school for? What did you try to, I guess, go?
I had no idea. I was just doing my core classes, general ed, and like trying to figure out what I wanted to do. And yeah, didn't end up so good. My dad told me to move back home, and then saw that firemen had a pretty cool schedule, and I was like, they all had boats and would go out to like Havasu and party, and I'm like, that seems like a good idea. I think I'll do that. So moved home, got my EMT license, and then started working on the ambulance, and I liked it. I really liked it. So I became an EMT, paramedic, went to paramedic school in 2006.
And this was all paid services?
This was all private, on the private ambulance at first.
Okay.
West Coast, to get hired on the fire department back then, they wanted the paramedic card. And
Okay.
So you go to paramedic school, and that kind of was the in to get on the fire department.
Did that like boost the score?
Oh yeah, they would have a specific test just for people that had paramedic licenses. So,
That is a big thing here too. A lot of in the volunteer service, people would go through the whole entire EMS process, get their EMT license, and then from there they'll try to jump into the FDMY here in New York. So
yeah, that was the way to do it back then. And like West Coast firefighting is completely different than East Coast. Like, if there's not a wildfire to be fighting, there's not that much to do. So 98% of the calls are EMS calls over there.
And yeah, we talked about this.
So they need the paramedics to do that, and that was kind of the in over there.
So were you an EMT or a paramedic?
I was an EMT first, and then I went to paramedic school, and then as soon as I got my paramedic license, I moved right back to San Diego. Because
why'd you say it so aggressively? Like it's just like you just.
I loved San Diego. I loved living there. I was having fun. I'm like, oh, I could just be a paramedic here, and went down there, worked as a paramedic for 2 years there. And
I don't think you give yourself enough credit. Like you said, you failed out of school, but to do paramedic school is very difficult.
I guess I failed out of like traditional college, I guess, was the way to put it. And then the certificate programs would just work better for me. It was like, I think it was shorter term, so I could see the light at the end of the tunnel. Like, my EMT license, it took 3 months, and my paramedic license, it was a year.
And that's how I feel about college in general. I'm not against. I'm against the institution. Like you had to take certain classes because I took classes for no freaking reason, and it's just like I took a bowling class. Why? But you have a certain certification that you can obtain. Here's the path, and you can go right for it in a shorter period of time than spending 4 or 5 years
in the weeds with a bunch of electives that you have like no clue about, or like why you're doing them, or like why do I need this class for, like it doesn't make sense.
Never did. How long did it take you to get your EMT license?
The EMT license was quick. I did that, I think, in 3 months. That wasn't even community college. That was just a private.
What year was that? So just kind of.
It was 2004. And then back then, you needed experience as an EMT before you could go to paramedic school.
Okay, so that was a prereq.
Yeah, that was a prereq back then, and as time went on, they needed more paramedics faster, so that prereq kind of got thrown by the wayside.
Can you tell the difference? Can you explain? Because I'm not entire Iraq, that's why I want you to explain it too. What's the difference between an EMT and a paramedic?
So the paramedic is that's the top level. It's like just the top level of certification in the emergency medical field. So EMT they have the basic one, and that's the guy, he can do CPR, drive the ambulance, he can give you aspirin or something like that. Then you have the EMT intermediate in most places, and that can do everything the EMT basic can do, but he can also, or he or she can also start like an IV and give a few more drugs.
They're allowed to administrate drugs.
And then the paramedic, that's the top level, and knows how to read the little squiggly lines on the EKG.
Squiggly lines.
And then can intubate someone. In some places, they can give drugs to paralyze you before you get intubated.
Oh, really?
Yeah, give a lot more medications that can actually, like, if you give the wrong medicine, could really do some harm. So the paramedic's the top level.
So what were like the big like hurdles becoming a paramedic?
It was getting the experience, first of all, because you had to work on the ambulance to gain the experience as a basic level. And then also the school was hard. I went to the UCLA paramedic program. It is sponsored by the School of Medicine at UCLA, but it's a certificate program outside the university. There were some ridiculously hard tests, and it was about 8-9 months in the classroom of full study, and there was a pretty high failure rate.
I can imagine. It's basically going for like an MD, basically.
Yeah, a paramedic it's like getting all the stuff to be a doctor, but you don't need to understand all the detail. But a lot of the same things a doctor can do, the paramedic can do, because the paramedic has to work under the license of a doctor.
Ah, okay.
So I'm not doing surgery, but I'm sticking a tube down someone's throat to like, take over their breathing. Or like,
my thing when I was in the fire service was really just like bag and bring them to the hospital as fast as you humanly can. But obviously there could be something like a paramedic can do that could save.
Yeah, there's certain interventions that a paramedic can make that it's better to stay or not start going to the hospital right away and get these interventions done and then start moving towards
what are like, can you like one or two?
Certain heart rhythms, it'd be better to fix that heart rhythm with a medication or with electricity rather than like just throw the person in the back of the ambulance and drive as fast as you can.
Is it really true? Is like I always see it in the cartoons where they rub the two things together. Do they don't have to rub the two things together, and like wouldn't that just shock themselves?
Well, the electricity wasn't flowing through it. They were rubbing them together because there's gel on them, and the gel is what goes between the metal and the skin to transmit the electricity. So when you see them rubbing them together, they were like they put like a glob of gel on one of them and then rub them together.
Do you shave the person too?
Not when you're shocking them. It's kind of like you don't have time for that. But if you're doing like a 12-lead EKG, you'd have to shave the person.
Yeah, because nobody like those kits. I see them. They have the little shave kit. That okay,
yeah,
a little shaving.
Give you a bunch of razor burn on your
yeah, take that
on that chest hair to take it off.
So did you pass like the first time, or did you struggle through it? Like it was just.
I passed the first time, but it was difficult. You go to your. There's 3 phases. The first phase, you're in the classroom the whole time and lots of hard tests, and we lost quite a few people there. The next phase, you go to the hospital, and then you work in the emergency room. I was at Cedars-Sinai in the emergency room there working and learning, and then you go to the field after that, and I just got put in the fire station, and it was
love at first sight.
Thrown to the wolves right there.
Well, yeah, the fire service. I mean, I was in a volunteer service, so I don't think it was on the scale what you guys have done. I just had really like the base knowledge. But with that, like when people got past that point or became a paramedic and now are in the field, what's the success rate of that person actually staying in there? Like, did you see people like, oh, this is really not for me? Like, this is like.
Yeah, you could see that sometimes. Like everyone you're working with, everyone's type A personality in that field. You have to be. So, and there's a lot of work to become a paramedic. So you think you'd figure it out on the way that's what you wanted to do. And then, but eventually like it happened to me. Like, you just get sick and tired of doing the same thing over and over again. You want to find something else. Yeah. And so that's kind of what happened when I switched to become a pilot. But I don't think the failure rate was that high. But initially, like when you get hired in the fire academy, that kind of stuff, the failure rate goes up pretty high.
Have you used any of your skills? I would say yes, but I want to hear like, have you ever used what you've learned in paramedic school at home, like some emergency, either with yourself, your wife, or your kids, or like?
You have the knowledge. Like I haven't shocked my kids.
I don't know. I just wanted to hear if you had some cool story.
Well, both of my kids ended up having febrile seizures from a fever. I wasn't there for one of them. Hillary it was a mess. That was probably one of the worst days, but. Honestly, it's probably been more of a hurdle than anything because I'll look as a paramedic, you can look at someone and it's either sick or not sick. Like, is this person really dying or not?
Gotcha.
And so then well, this to me is like, oh, he had a fever and he had a seizure and now he's fine. But to her, that was like the biggest thing of their life, and she doesn't understand that. Like, I've watched a person have a stroke in front of me, or like just flat out have a heart attack or bleed out. Yeah. And so like it doesn't numb you to it, but like it makes it like I kind of analyze it a little bit more. I'm like, oh, that's not really a big deal, but it's a big deal to someone that doesn't understand it. And so the empathy level needs to be adjusted, tailored.
Yeah. And I had those experiences too when I was a firefighter. It was like watching the person unfortunately passed away right in front of me. I was like, holy, just wild to see like them have a heart attack or a stroke, and just like, and then they're in a few minutes they're gone. And it is like, and now you're looking at your kids like, yeah, they're not gonna die. But there was this situation that happened to me like right before me and my wife went to Disney. We're packing up the bags, we're having fun with the kids, and my son flipped over on the bed, and then boom, hits his head right in the middle where his two eyes. And we're like, is he okay? And all of a sudden, the thing just starts swelling up, like huge, and immediate panic, because when it comes to head injuries, for me especially, I obviously I have a scar in my head, and we don't take things lightly when it comes to the head injuries. Not to say that anybody would, but it's just like, I think it just hits a certain home. And like, I was putting the kid, his thing kept swelling up. I put him in the car seat. I was going to rush into the hospital. I'm like, what the hell am I doing? Just call 911 right now. And I call 911, and the cop like just strolls in, and the thing starts coming back down. He's like, yeah, he's going to be fine. I'm like, how do you know that? He's like, this happens all the time. Like, it's a contusion. Like, it's
right.
It's just like, but it's just like, you get to this level where even myself, where I just like, I've been so long out of the fire service where I was like, I don't know what the hell to do here.
Yeah. It's different when you look at it. You're like, I'm like, oh, well, that's swelling up. Well, I know that there's blood in between the skin and the skull right there. And if you put an ice pack on it, it'll probably be just fine. And like, I'll start looking for, okay, is he asking like repetitive questions? Or his pupils the same size? Is he bleeding from his ears? Like, is something else wrong? And I'd be looking for all that, and
everybody's staring at the bump.
Everyone's like staring at the bump, and I'm like, no, I'm looking for a bunch of other things to see, like, because I don't care if it's outside the skull, but just below the face, that's just blood right there. I'm more concerned if like you broke some parts on the inside, and then you go from there. Like, to me, that's way more concerning. But like the average person doesn't think like that, and I need to like tailor my thinking to
their thinking.
And like, okay, let me empathize with this a little bit more. It's the same way in the airport. If I have to tell myself in the airport, like the average person is only in the airport maybe 1 or 2 times a year, if that. So they don't know what they're doing in security. They're gonna walk super slow and don't know where anything's at.
Oh boy! And
it drives anyone that's at the airport often, like any frequent traveler, a pilot, or anyone. It drives everyone else nuts because like what do you like?
What do you mean you're not supposed to wear a belt and all these chains and
you can't take liquids through here? You should know that. Like, but the average person doesn't know that. Like, or like your gate's over here and you're walking in the middle of the aisle, or you're walking on the moving. You're not walking on the moving sidewalk. You're like riding the moving sidewalk. And so I just constantly, when I'm there at work, I'm like, the average person isn't here maybe once a year, so they don't know. And
you have compassion.
Give them some patience and passion, and like So I just like. Found as I get older, like I have to have more patience and tailor like thinking and empathy more that way.
I so want to go into so many topics, but I want to keep on track with your story. So you finally landed in the fire department with being a paramedic. Yep. So then what happened after? Like, what was the course of that?
So I was working as a paramedic in San Diego. I loved it, but it was $12 an hour. So.
That is so frustrating. It really is. The fact. Police officers, firemen, paramedics, EMTs, all those first responders, to collectively, just to pay.
It just wasn't enough to get by. So I was still trying to get hired I was still working as a paramedic. I was working in a fire station in San Diego, but I was working for a private corporation. The city had contracted to the fire department to do the ambulance runs.
Wow.
So I was wearing the same uniform and everything. I looked the same, but I was making $12 an hour. So it wasn't working out long term.
And you can't, there was no like at that time, what is that top? Was that you're at the top, $12 an hour?
$15 an hour for the private paramedics.
That's what I was talking about. Like I was trying to say with the first responders, is like the level of stress, the level of everything, and this is the pay.
Yep. And that's what it started at. And in the meantime, when I'm there, I'm testing for every fire department in California and Arizona, and Nevada, and the testing process.
What made you do the testing? So like, did that just start happening when you were inside the fire service? You're like, this is an environment.
I knew the paramedic thing. It wasn't going to be viable. Like, you have to be a firefighter paramedic on the West Coast, and that was the way to make a living and a decent wage doing it. And you have the retirement set up. You have a little bit better schedule. You're not quite as busy, and you're not working for a private corporation. You're working for the local government, and you're not working to make someone a profit. You're working to make the community better.
Of course.
So that's kind of where I was at with that. So I was taking out, but the testing process, it's several levels. Like first you had to apply, and if you screwed up your application, it's tossed out. And then after you apply, then they have the written test. And I remember the first written test I went to was Phoenix, and it was at the convention center there. And then we're all in line. I got there pretty early, and then there's 10,000 other guys that look all exactly like me. Probably all have the exact same.
They all look like you.
Yeah, they all a bunch of fucking just guys, young men, age 18 to 25.
All different, all the same demographics, and just fitting that profile.
Yep, all just young men, not just all white guys, all Latin, Black. Every race was there, so the demographics were all represented. But it's just everyone on paper, we all look the same. Mm-hmm. And there's 10,000 of us, and like the guys handing out the tests. I'm like looking around the room, and I'm like, there's 10,000. I'm like, how many jobs is this for? He's like, oh, if we're lucky, 50. And I like, so
that's so crazy.
I'm doing the odds in my head. I'm like, there's at least 10,000 of us in here, and all for 50 spots.
And are you one of those 50
like,
people?
Am I going to be one of those 50? Like, I don't know. I don't think I'm that impressive. So yeah, I didn't get hired off that test, and it took a few more years of testing.
Was all the other tests similar in this fashion, where you were in this big, gigantic room with all these other people trying to get the same job?
Sometimes they would split up the tests, and eventually they went online to where you'd go to like a testing center to take a test.
Yeah,
because it's expensive to rent out the convention center and
of
throw
course
this whole thing on. But yeah, you're always in the applicant pool, and there's thousands of people in this applicant pool vying for these jobs back then. And then
what year was this when it was all like?
This was all 2007, 2008.
Gotcha.
2009, I got hired in Nevada for Clark County, and the only reason I got hired is they were looking for paramedics, and I had the paramedic card, and it's still a pretty big test.
Did you envision working and living in Las Vegas?
No.
Or Nevada?
No, if I had my choice, I probably would have stayed in like LA or San Diego. I grew up in California. The weather was great. I liked it. But I had to start expanding. I wasn't getting hired in California.
So you had to go somewhere.
I went to the first person that they
said yes.
Said yes. And went and got hired there, and that was 2009. And then went to the academy there, and then I was not ready for it. It was straight up boot camp.
Why weren't you ready for it? Just physically demanding, or just?
It was physically demanding and mentally demanding too.
Yeah.
Clark County at the time had one of the harder academies, and mentally I wasn't ready, and physically I also probably wasn't ready because I tore my ACL on that one.
Really?
But I was already having low scores on some of the tests and other issues like going on in there that I don't think I was going to pass anyway. To tell you the truth. So, but I blew out my knee in that one, and they fixed my knee, but they don't. In California, they would recycle you, is what they call, and send you to the next school. With them, is like, hey, we fixed you, and good luck, and reapply again. So, yeah, I just moved there and lost that job. And
during boot camp?
Yeah, during the academy that they had. So yeah, that was a kind of a low point.
You poor bastard.
So then it was back to the ambulance. It was like, well, I could move back to California and go back to the ambulance, but I had signed an apartment lease in Nevada. So I was like, I'll just work on the ambulance here.
Before you keep going, obviously something major happened. You ACL, like you had surgery?
Yep.
So you had surgery. You're in a really depressive state. Everything that goes involved in surgery really can bring somebody down. What kept you telling you had to keep going, man? I mean, that's a little bit, that's a low, and the fact that you traveled from California to Vegas, not to say it's far, but still, regardless, you removed yourself from where you initially wanted to be into a new state to get a job that somebody finally said yes. There's a lot going on there.
Yeah, life it's all been ups and downs. I guess, and my dad told me you got to be tenacious, and I think pilots have to be the same way.
Tenacious. That's a good term. I like that.
You're not going to be good at everything initially. No one is. And then if you get knocked down, what am I just going to stop and give up and feel bad for myself? And
a lot of people do, man.
I guess that's never been my personality. I'll get this. It was a physical injury. I can rehab from that. I'll be good to go. And then I got to get hired again. I'm like, I don't want to stay on this private ambulance. I've tasted that before, and I didn't really. I'm good at it. I like it. It's fun, but it's not long term. Like you can't stay. I've seen the people that were on the private ambulance long term, and that wasn't going to be me. So yeah, I went back to the ambulance, and then end of 2011, early 2012, I got rehired with the same department. Gave me another shot.
And how old were you then?
What was that? That was 2012, so I was 26,
Okay.
27.
And your knee was you're doing fine? Because obviously you're getting a little bit older in age. Not to say 27 is still very young, but it's just like, how an injury like that and get back into something.
It had been like 2 years, but I was rehab it right, work out, and keep on going. And then I was ready for the academy the next time.
Oh, you started training.
So I started training early. I was running, I'd pick the hottest time of the day to go be running outside in physical training.
And what temperature was that?
I think that summer I hit like 112, 114 all day.
Crap.
So right in the middle of the day, try to go out and usually 110 and running that. But you get used to it.
How much sunscreen do you have to put on?
Quite a bit. And as my hair's been going, I'm watching more and more sunscreen. But more importantly, I was mentally ready for the academy the next time because I'd been through it and I knew what to expect. And then I knew the rules of
what's expected,
of what to expect. Yeah. Because you have call it remotivation, and you feel like you're just getting physically punished, but they can't push you super far with it. And they constantly tell you, they give you an impossible deadline to me, we need everyone out of the room in 30 seconds, with all your stuff. And you're like, no, that's not happening. And then of course you fail it, and then you get a bunch of push-ups or some other form of physical remotivation to make you do it better the next time.
But you have to be at that mental capacity. It's just,
I knew the game at that point. And so then it was you can get a lot further once you know what you're getting into.
Do you think that's a good thing? So what I'm trying to ask you is this: the fact that you went through it the first time, failed out obviously because of your injury. Do you think knowing that information the second time, is that wise for the person, or is it actually good the first go around to just throw you right into the fire?
I don't know. It was good for me the second time because then I knew what every action has a reaction. I knew what the reaction would be. So that helped me. And then I could tell all my compadres that were with me exactly what's going on. So it probably wasn't good for the overall, what they were trying to do. But at the same time, they knew I knew everything. So that they could tailor, find different ways to really push you and push your limits.
Did they catch on?
Oh, absolutely.
They're like, all right, Chris is at it again.
They're like, Chris knows what's going on, but they were bound by the same rules as well. But then they can change some of the rules. And the goal is to get you trained, be ready to go, to be a good member of the fire department. And the academy has its spots too. As a fireman, you're living in that house with. You don't want someone that doesn't deserve to be there or shouldn't be there, working with you. So the academy was designed to weed people out like that.
Yeah.
And so, honestly, the first time I went, I wasn't ready. I should prepare myself more. But the second time, I kind of knew what was going on, so it worked out. And then, stayed as a firefighter there for 11 years, 12 years.
That's a long time.
I guess it's long now, but
it's funny when you're going through stuff like this because, I say to myself, I have 15 years in the construction industry. I'm like, wow, that's weird to say an extra digit.
Well, the newer generation, things are different now. People stay as a fireman because there was a pension and it's like a career. But in this newer time, it doesn't make sense to stay at a job for 30 years anymore for most jobs.
It's crazy.
I guess you make more money the more times you switch jobs. And all the statistics I've seen.
That's true. And then the old thing is okay, you look at somebody's resume and oh, they got 10 years on here. But now it's somebody's resume is it's just it's all over the place. My resume is worked at a roller skating rink. I don't even put that I was a DJ, but worked at a roller skating rink, worked at Disney World, and then 15 years of construction. Right. And it's just that one job, one company, boom. And now,
now you see people that have I spent 2 years here, 3 years for this company, 5 years here. A lot of it's in the same field, but you see them switching companies a lot.
Yeah.
And back when I first got hired at the fire department, you got on that department, you stayed forever.
It was like the golden, like you got a golden ticket, like you got a job, like that was the same thing with the FD, like even with the FDNY, and just like you got that job. You never hear anybody say, "Oh, I quit being an NYPD cop, a fireman." Like those.
No, you didn't. You didn't hear about that back then.
No.
But now I know a ton of people that like, they don't want to do it forever. They're looking for their way out.
Well, you quit.
Yeah. Well, looking at that, so I'll give the whole story with that. Is I'm working for the fire department. And everything's great. And I became an engineer, which is the guy that drives the fire engine, the promotion internal. And got back in Vegas. You don't want to work on the strip. It's too busy. You're up all night and you don't get it. You're working a lot harder.
I want to pick some stories of the strip, so don't bypass this. Let's talk about a crazy story in like what was the one that like really stuck out with you on the Vegas strip?
Well, I wasn't working during October 1, so that's obviously the biggest one with the shooting at the music festival.
That's right.
I was not working that night, so that I remember hearing the sirens that night, but I wasn't working. I don't know. The craziest story had probably been I had a cop that it was like straight out of the movie Black Hawk Down, if you've seen that, where the guy gets shot in the groin. I had a cop get shot in the groin, and there's just a giant pool of blood in the back of the rig, in the back of the ambulance.
Holy crap!
There's nothing. There's no way to stop this bleeding. Like it's just going.
Did he live?
He ended up living.
Wow.
So the only reason he ended up living is because the ambulance was right at the right spot at the right time, and happened to be in their cops. And in that case, the only thing to do was drive to the hospital even faster. And we had the Las Vegas Metro Police. All the police departments I've seen, they're just the camaraderie there is insane. But they pretty much, we had a motorcade going to the hospital, and the pedal was on the floor, I'm sure, for the ambulance the whole time. And the cop died right when we got to the hospital. And
he was
clinically dead in the back of our ambulance. And then we got him in the ER there in the trauma center, and they pumped him back full of blood.
Wow.
And I remember some of the other cops were giving blood, and now he's working again. Last I heard, he was behind the desk, but he's still...
Doesn't matter. He's alive. But damn.
Yeah,
that's crazy, man.
So that's probably like one of the craziest ones.
That's definitely.
And honest, none of my work as a paramedic, I blew 3 IVs trying to get IVs on him, and we ended up doing an IO. And
what's an IO?
That's where you drill pretty much a needle into the bone of the leg to get medicine through. But he didn't have any veins left because there was no blood. And,
holy crap!
All my work as a paramedic, the only thing that was going to save that guy was a trauma center at the hospital. There's nothing else I could do, and if everyone hadn't been exactly where they were at the exact right time,
you want to make it
happen like that.
I want to go back real quick to the music festival thing. That was crazy when that unfortunately that mass shooting. What happened afterwards? So obviously you weren't there that night. What was it like during the aftermath of that? Was it what were you doing?
I was at home. Yeah. There was a bunch of overtime because everyone was everything was all scattered all over the place. But the way a response works to a mass casualty incident was redrawn that night.
Because they were never used to something like that.
Nothing had ever happened like that before.
Got it.
And how many people just got thrown in the back of a pickup truck and dragged to the hospital that way. Just the whole triage thing that would normally happen, and all the rules that we trained for didn't happen that way. There was no collection point and this and that.
So all that has been reestablished since that incident.
Now when there's an incident like that, the fire department actually is going to respond resources to the emergency room in a lot of cities, because the emergency room got so overwhelmed that they needed extra help there.
Then out there.
And that's in Las Vegas. They have a whole plan now for that. So it's way different than how it used to be.
So I guess they had to retrain and come up with
a new plan.
Got it.
Everyone's like, okay, well, if this ever happens again, you don't like to make the same mistake twice. So you have a bunch of paramedics at the scene, but there's no more victims at the scene. Anyone that was still alive got thrown in the back of a private car and driven and dumped at the trauma center. And then all of a sudden the trauma centers they're overloaded. So the response plan had to get reevaluated. It's
crazy when things it's just always that event. 9/11. You have TSA now. You have the new security clearance. It's it's sad because it's everything. It's something you would never prepare for. Now we have to prepare because that's the world we live in. It's just
all the changes they're written in blood from people that didn't make it. Like
that's right.
So it's kind of it's just different how things are done. But yeah, that's probably that event changed the fire department a lot. How the responses were done, and then but most of the calls that I guess most people don't realize it's a small percentage of the population that uses the 911 system over and over again. Like I went working on the strip, I'd go to the Win, and there'd be a chef that has seizures. And he just has seizures, and he knows when he's going to have a seizure. You can feel he has an aura come on, sits down, and has a seizure. But the Win would call every time for that because they want to. It's their insurance policy, and it's their policy to call. And I get there and like, oh hey, I had another seizure. And like, oh, no big deal. Or like someone tripped and fell. So it's not as cool as everyone thinks, I guess.
No, I actually know that also firsthand. I remember like on our phones and our pagers, our pager would go off and then our phone would get the message saying what house number, what it is, and we had the freaking flyer. We see the person, and they so many times like this person's like, oh, I got to go to the emergency room, and they didn't. Like they didn't. Like they could have gone to the emergency room and they could have gotten in a car and drive there. And then I see the person walk out of the house into the ambulance. I'm like, oh, we're shuttle service,
taxi service.
And they think a lot of times, oh, we're gonna bring them to the emergency room. So we bring them to the emergency room, and they're like, okay, here's the main office. Goodbye.
Yep. Get out and go in the waiting room.
Go in the waiting room. It's like. But you're wasting resources you're pulling it from the real thing. And I remember I had that big moment, like that big eye-opening thing, and you probably remember this in like school. Like there was always like if there was a threat against the school, I don't want to say the word, but there was a certain threat. If you ever made that phone call saying this is what's going on, that you are taking away resources. You're taking police, firemen away from some bullshit.
It could be something else that has happened.
And that was like so, and I'm glad the school had the police officer come and give that lecture because you just, at the time it was the thing, like kids did it because it was Halloween. Right. And like I just remember Halloween, it's like, oh, school's out because of that reason. But then when that cop explained, like, wow, that's really effed up. Like they literally could be an emergency on the parkway, somebody's life threatening, and you're calling him BS. Yeah.
No, most of the calls are low acuity and high quantity of them. Like, I can't tell you how many fender benders I've been to, and the person just wants a report, so their lawyer has some sort of documentation, so they can have their lawsuit further down the line. But they needed me to come there with the lights and sirens and everything and make a report that their neck hurts. They don't want to go to the hospital or anything, but it just takes time and effort and energy because of that. And so eventually I decided not to do it anymore.
Hold on one second. Before you jump, one more. I actually have two more questions before you jump your story. One, because you worked in an ambulance, did you have a physical ambulance chaser? Like somebody that would follow?
I've had like the person freaking out. Like I've never had the lawyer come and look. I was gonna
like if there's like a guy like a legitimate ambulance chaser.
No, I've had like a scared family member follow us through like running red lights in the ambulance, and that's always like, oh, she's gonna hit us from behind here. Like she has no idea. Like she's never been taught how to drive like this, and like they're like freaking out following in the ambulance. But I've never had a lawyer come and ask
I was just curious. My other question is fire related. Anything crazy that happened in like I remember the marquee went on fire. Were you part of that?
I was working that day. I didn't go to that one. But, that was the palm trees. Yeah. The fake palm trees. Someone had thrown a cigarette or something, and those trees are made out of foam. And
that's what caused it?
And that's what caused it. And those trees, when the foam burns, it makes a ton of smoke. So it looks spectacular.
It just looks spectacular.
Because the foam is essentially made out of like polycarbon, it's just oil. And so when like oil burns, like it's
majestic.
It's spectacular. There's a ton of smoke. But yeah, that's what burned up there. Most of the hotels, like fire code was written from the MGM fire way back in the 80s in Vegas. So essentially when there's a hotel fire now, if it's in a room, it's already in a concrete box, and there's only so much stuff that can
burn. Sprinkler, yeah.
And then the smoke ejection systems and everything.
Really controls what's going on.
If you're going to stay in any hotel, in Vegas, it's great because everything's so new, and the code has been written so that like now in my job, I go to a lot of different hotels. So I see
you
it makes me
scope
kind
them
of
out.
worried on some of the older hotels.
Oh yeah,
But yeah, in Vegas,
the fire suppression system's really on point. Yeah.
absolutely, in all the hotels, it's on point.
Yeah.
But like, when you get like a trash chute fire, that would always happen. Like there's giant trash chutes, and then like someone threw a cigarette in the trash chute.
It's always a cigarette.
And, like, yeah, most of the fires I've been to are careless smoking or careless cooking. So some of the like really, you see some of the houses that you go into as a fireman. Like if you've seen it, like,
Yeah.
it's amazing how some people live.
Oh yeah, it's like you're cooking in this element. Oh yeah,
You know,
and
like,
then
no wonder. Like,
yeah,
why
you're
is there-
supposed to put water on oil, right?
Yeah, I'm like, why is there grease all over your stove? I'm like, this is not good. But
Yeah, it's like the cleaning of the stove, the panel. They don't realize like what soaks up, and it's just like poof.
most of the houses, like the house fires I go to, which are few and far between. Like I had a couple like solar ones where like something electrical was installed wrong, but most of like the other like house fires are, it's usually some sort of hoarding event going on. The person has way too much stuff, and it's careless smoking or careless cooking.
The problem with house fires too, and I learned this in fire school, is just the material, even the chair like I'm sitting on, is all oil based.
Yeah,
like,
everything is sawdust held together with glue and oil.
All this will just ignite this room within 3 minutes.
Yep. And it makes a crazy amount of smoke. Like, it's
Yeah.
not like how things used to be.
Yeah.
But when you're burning everything that's a polycarbon, it's all oil.
After
makes a
being
ton
a
of smoke.
after being a firefighter, have you ever rewatched Backdraft?
Yeah. It was a kind of a joke because like,
It's just I watch it and they're like it's clear. It's like everything's on fire, but there's not no smoke. I'm like, wow, this is like this. Is this? Are they serious with this movie?
yeah, when I got hired, it was kind of the joke that Brian McCaffrey from the main character from that movie, he would be eligible for retirement at the time I got hired. So. Yeah, I didn't pull any babies out of fires. I was
yeah.
not running with an axe and an open coat and without a helmet on, and there was none. I never broke a car window as an engineer to put a fire hose through it.
I did love the show just because of him. It was Rescue Me.
Dennis O'Leary was.
I think he's just so. I think he's funny.
I think that show really it got like a lot of the emotions and like the actual life stuff around firefighters,
But not the actual one. Like I just see them like going into a fire and they don't even have like their mask for their SCBA and you're just like, okay, they have like, okay. Or it's just like these little things I notice with the truck and placement and
like sitting around like the kitchen table in the fire department that was spot on. It was like,
oh really?
Just
The
constantly like digging at each other and the camaraderie and
love it.
just grilling each other left and right, or like you make some stupid mistake, you're gonna get a
not gonna hit the
nickname
end of
from
it.
it, and you're gonna hear about it for the next 10 years.
Were you ever goofed on?
Oh yeah, cooking. So I was making. I think the story's hilarious.
I'm ready.
So it was cake in a box, right? You just like the one where you like mix the egg or whatever. I'm like,
yeah.
Like, but it had a layer in it, so I was like, oh, like I just must mix it all together. And then I'll just put I'll put like half the cake mix in the bottom that all got mixed together. Then I'll put the frosting on top of that, and I'll put another layer of cake mix on top of it, and I'll have a layered cake. It didn't like that at all. And I never heard the end of it. Like what is wrong with this cake? Frosting all over the place. And
So you get roasted if you can't cook or bake.
yep, you get destroyed. You make one bad meal, and you're gonna hear about
That's it. It's over.
You had to buy pizza for the entire station, and but. Yeah, that cake incident, that one always comes back to me.
It just looked like it did. You're smirking a lot. It's just like
that one, because I'm not a baker. I don't bake. I don't know anything about baking. I figured I could do a cake in a box, but I couldn't figure out how to make it a layered cake. So,
oh man, I feel like we could spend hours on that, but let's keep going.
all right.
After the fire service, man.
So everyone's like, "Well, why'd you switch?" And it's kind of an odd story. And Hillary's partly to blame for it, my wife.
So it's her fault. Hillary, it's your fault.
Yeah, it's Hillary's fault. And partly to blame. The airline I work for, in one of their bases, they hired the fire department to clean the planes, like to do the cabin cleaning in the middle of the night. Because the fire department, you have an awesome schedule, and it allows for travel. And when you work for the airline, you get travel benefits on standby travel. So that airline came to the fire department in Vegas and said, hey, if you guys clean the planes for us one night a month, we'll give you flight benefits. And all of us were like,
Sign me up.
sign me up.
Yeah.
So we started, and then they changed it to 4 nights a month.
Okay.
And like, I don't know, like 80-90% of the guys quit. And I was like, well, I have to be at the fire department or average like 12, 14 days a month. And then if I have to clean the planes 4 nights a month, that's about 18 days a month. That still leaves 12 days a month that I'm off and would be free to travel and use the benefits. So I'm like constantly like weighing in my head. So I'm like,
The pros and cons, the math.
I'm like, okay, I can do that. So I'm cleaning the planes, and then we got the travel benefits. This is around 2016. And went to Tomorrowland. Like,
Oh, you did.
yeah. And we paid for those tickets to go that year. But the next year, I'm like, in 2017, I was like, well, it would be really nice if I didn't have to buy this plane ticket to go across the pond. And it'd be really nice if I sat in business class. And so we had that benefit. And then lo and behold, we get business class and start going to, like, I took Hillary to an Armin van Buuren concert, and we got business class going over there.
Was that Untold?
No, that was Best of Armin only. And it was at, I think that was 2017. But it was in the wintertime going to Europe. There was plenty of seats in business class. So yeah, we sat up front, and
Nice.
now she won't sit in the back going.
You can't go back. I sat in first class a few times, and I feel like a peasant.
Yeah, once you get the taste of that lie flat seat, and you're like,
Oh my God.
this is totally worth it, because it saves you a day when you get there, because you don't have to recover from the flight at that point in time.
So the first time I did first class was right after me and Alexa got married, and we had extra funds in the bank account, and we're like, we're going to Italy first class, and we sat in first class, and the drinks, this, that, food, meal, and then the stewardess comes up to me and goes, "Would you like me to set up your bed?" I'm like, "Excuse me? Set up a bed? What are you talking about here?" It's like, "Set up your bed." I'm like, I was like, "You guys stand up." I stood up. They flattened the whole seat out. They put a mattress.
Yeah, you get a nice little mattress topper and like some
I'm
name
like,
brand linen. And
what? And then I fell asleep, and I just remember waking up in Italy refreshed. Never, ever in my life where I like got to Italy. Because what happens is I generally don't fall asleep so much going to Italy, because I know how to play this game of the time, how the time works, because it's 6 hours ahead there. So I would stay up, get to Italy. It'll always be around between like 11 to 2 o'clock. At that point, you're all in.
right.
So you got to stay up until at least 8, 9 o'clock to shift your clock over. Can't sleep. But the fact that I woke up, it was 10 o'clock. I already got on the European time schedule. It was just like,
Yeah, it's,
how can I not fly like this?
yeah. I created a monster.
Yeah, you did.
Now you don't want to go. So, and when you're on the standby tickets, there's a whole hierarchy to it, and most of it's seniority.
Of course.
But there's other things. I didn't work for the actual airline. I worked for a company the airline created
Yeah.
to do that work, but I didn't work for the actual airline at the time. So I was below on the hierarchy of all the airline employees. So we were going to go somewhere. I can't even remember where. And we got booted out at the last minute.
Ooh.
And we got sent to the back. And it was a long flight. And I was like, I'm not going to have that happen again. Like, why does that guy get to go up front? And so I was like, oh, okay, well, now I know what I got to do. So I was cleaning the plane one night, and the pilot was helping clean the plane because he wanted to turn the plane around much faster and get back to wherever he was going.
Really?
And then the pilot was like, "Hey, why are you guys doing this?" And we're like, "Oh, I'm fireman." And he's like, he asked me what I made, and I told him what I made. And he's like, "Have you ever considered being a pilot?"
You literally had a pilot say that to you.
Yeah. The pilot, while he was helping me clean the plane so he could turn it around faster.
So
to
we
get
got
back to wherever he was going.
I love how the story's syncing up, by the way. It's because it's like, what you said, Hillary said.
Yeah, she's like, she doesn't want to sit in the back anymore. We like the flight benefits. We like traveling.
So you had that moment where you got booted out of business class, and then you go back to cleaning up the plane, and then you have a pilot say, "You should become a pilot." Like that's,
Yeah, he's like, there's going to be a pilot shortage. And I didn't understand all of it. Then I had thrown away the pilot thing a long time ago when I became a fireman. I'm like, oh, I'll just be a fireman.
yeah.
And a fireman that likes to travel. But and I'm like, pilot shortage? What's this pilot? So I start researching on it. I'm like, there's going to be a pilot shortage.
What was the year that it was supposed to like? I think COVID obviously.
Now, this was about 2017.
Okay.
And a lot of the guys from like the boomers and the Vietnam era, when you turn 65, you can't be a commercial airline pilot anymore.
Oh, really?
That's
That's
the
it?
rule. And so like a lot of these guys are like, they have to retire at age 65.
Wow.
And so there was kind of a bubble of like after Vietnam, like all these guys that came out of the military and they didn't need as many pilots. So they were all commercial airline pilots and they were all getting ready to retire. So there was going to be a shortage. They were advertising a shortage, but I think a lot of the shortage was blown up. To be clear, there was a shortage at the regional level of the airlines. So like the jets that have about 80 seats, anywhere from 50 to 80 seats, there was a shortage of that.
Okay.
But at the major airlines, I don't think there was ever a shortage. They always had plenty of applicants.
Got it.
So I kind of looked at them like in parallel. I was like, the regional airlines, it's kind of like the private ambulance. Like no one wants to do it, and you're paid low, and you're doing most of the work because your schedule's not as good. You're flying more legs. Then the major airlines, that was kind of like the fire department. That's the career job. That's where you want to get to. That's where everyone wants to get to. So I kind of misinterpreted that pilot shortage, but I started anyway. I was like, well, I could be a pilot. And at the time, I had a pretty cush spot as an engineer, and I'm not on the strip anymore.
Oh, you sound like you're comfortable.
Yeah, I was really comfortable being an engineer, and we had tuition reimbursement through the school or through the fire department. The union had negotiated that benefit, and I was like, well, I don't know what I want to do, but they're going to pay for my college that I never finished when I started. And like, I talked to some of the arson investigators on the fire department, and I was like, I could do that path. Be an arson investigator. It seemed like a pretty cool gig.
That's pretty cool.
Just investigate the fires.
You always want the cool job.
Yeah, I always want the cool ones.
You want the cool job.
And like the arson investigators, they all get jobs working for insurance companies as soon as they retire.
Of course, yeah.
So they're arson investigator for so long, then they get hired by like State Farm or someone else and make really good money after the fire. Because you're always like looking like for a backup or another stream of income or a side gig or something as a fireman.
Well, of course, yeah. That was always the thing, like the side work, the construction work. Then also when the whole point too of being in that service, FDNY, fire service, police officer, you get a pension, you retire at a semi-earlier age, but then you can work, get a pension, and then
double dip.
Of course, why not?
You do something else.
First responders, absolutely, sign them up. They deserve it.
Yeah, that's how I was looking at that. So I started going to UNLV, and I was almost done with my degree, and the counselor lady's like, "Hey, you need a bunch of elective units, like 30." And I'm like, "What do you mean? Like, I'm like, can they be in anything?" She's like, "Yeah." It's free electives are what is required for your degree. And I was like, free electives? Like, can I go anywhere and do anything? And she's like, well, as long as it's an accredited school. And so I was like, oh, okay.
He's cooking it up in you.
Like, got the pilot thing going over here, like thinking about it.
Being kicked out of business class. This ain't going to happen.
Yeah. So I was kind of just like, okay. So I found a university that had what's called a flight training affiliate in Las Vegas, where you go and fly the Cessna and it's good for college credits. And so I signed up for it, and then I submitted for the tuition reimbursement from the fire department. And I think they were just busy and the rubber stamping them. And so my initial flight training for like my private pilot, and it was like 1 semester of classes, the fire department signed off on it and gave me tuition reimbursement for it. So I was like, that's cool. And so that I got my private pilot license. I like doing it. And I got college credits for it that I needed for that degree to the arson investigator, oddly enough. And
how was it getting taking off the plane for the first time?
My first solo, that's the good story. Because I've been in the plane for like 8 hours. I have my logbook.
Yeah.
And I went up with, like, the first time you go, the instructor lets you play around with it a little bit.
What type of plane are you flying?
This is a Cessna 172. And it was a pretty nice one. It was like newer. I had the glass.
My uncle used to have one.
So yeah, it's kind of funny when you do flight training. There's a lot of like I can't believe you're flying this thing. I can't believe this thing it goes in the air.
Yeah.
And then I'm doing my private, like the initial learning one, and I'm in a really nice airplane. And so I'm in it for 8 hours total with the instructor.
8 hours?
8 hours of training over the course of like 2 weeks.
Oh, okay.
And he's helping me land it and everything. And then he's like, okay, you're ready to solo. I was like, what?
You're always questioning. I love okay, so
So he's like, you're ready to go. I need you to solo. And that's what it's kind of a big deal. Like the first time you fly the plane solo by yourself, and you just take off and do what, like 3 laps in the patterns. Just take off, come and land, take off again, come and land, and you do it 3 times, and then you're signed off and good to go. And I was like, are you sure? And he's like, yeah, you're ready.
That's it.
And I'd been in this plane for a total of 8 hours, and you can look up the value. Like this plane's probably like a $800,000, $900,000 plane.
Not cheap.
And like, not to mention my life, and like,
Yeah.
and like, you're gonna trust me in this machine that I have 8 hours experience in, none of it by myself, and just go. And, yep. And of course, they're sitting there watching, and you tell the tower and everything that what's going on, that you're new, and so they give you a little bit more patience, and went and did that, and it was great. I loved it. And then after that, there's more training involved, but.
So real quick, when that happened, did you like get, I guess, the same like feeling when you joined the fire service? Was it kind of like you got your new, like you feel really reignited, ironically, like, you know?
Yeah, it's motivating.
Yeah.
But also, at that point, it wasn't any of my own money involved in that. A lot of people spend like 12, 15 grand
It's not,
to get their private pilot's license, and like none of this money was mine. So I'm like, the deal was the fire department. I think if you failed out, you had to pay it back. But it was an elective. I'm not going to fail. So yeah, then that all got signed off, and it was good to go. And that was late 2017, early 2018.
Wow.
And then so I signed up. Like after you get your private pilot, the next step is instrument pilot.
What's an instrument pilot?
That's so you can fly when you can't really have an outside reference to any visual.
So it's all just the computer,
just looking at the instruments.
Got it.
So I signed up for that, and then the fire department's like, we're not paying for that.
Yeah, what's that for?
I signed up for it, and I'm like waiting for the reimbursement, and then I get an email from the chief that says, we're not paying for that. And
you
I
already did it once. It's not happening again.
I thought he was going to ask me to pay back the first one.
Oh, really?
Yeah, but they didn't ask me to pay back any of the first one. They just pretty much said that was on us for we shouldn't have approved that, but that was on us, and we're not going to pay for any more, so don't ask. And I'm like, oh, that's fair. So I talked to Hillary, and I'm like, hey, there's going to be this shortage coming up. I like the fire department. I could keep on doing it, but I'm like, the schedule doesn't work for us all the time. Like last minute overtime, or I don't really want to become a captain at the fire department. And I'm like, what do you think if I just become a pilot? And she said, yes, go for it.
Hold on. Before Hillary said yes, did she go, do we ever have to sit in economy ever again? Is that what she asked?
She didn't preface that, but I think that it was definitely in the back of her head there of more and more business class and less
fancy
in economy.
So she said, yeah, okay. So you said yes.
Yeah, she said yes, go for it. And maybe she didn't know what she was getting into at the time. Maybe I might have underestimated the cost a little bit, but it was definitely a journey. I'm working at the fire department full time, and then I'm getting all my ratings on my days off. So I did instrument, and then after that's commercial, and then
and you have 2 kids at home.
Yeah, one at the time, and then the second one was born in 2018. So yeah,
yeah, you have 2 kids at home. You're working at the fire department. You're on your off time. You're learning how to fly the instrument. My God. And then he has time to fly to Tomorrowland and music festivals on really his real days off.
I got to give a lot of credit to Hillary on that for putting up with my 2 jobs at the time, because learning how to, or getting into the pilot thing, that was a full-time job.
It has to be.
So yeah, I got my ratings all done, finished that degree. I finished the other degree. So I have 2 bachelor's degrees at that point.
Do you feel smart now?
No, I don't use either of them. Well, I guess one's in aviation, so I technically use it, but not really. Like everything that was on that paper that they said I know is, to me, it
doesn't matter.
It's the piece of paper.
Yeah.
So in order to get to the airline, that's a lot of people get all their ratings to be a pilot, and it's at least $100,000 now to get all that done.
So how much was, obviously the fire department didn't cover the next cost. What was that cost?
Yeah, they covered about the first $14,000, $15,000.
And what was the remaining balance?
About 80.
Are you in debt right now, or that's all?
I have about $25,000 in student loans left.
Got it. Wow, that's a lot.
So I did it through the university, which allowed me to get the student loans. And
Got
then
it.
COVID helped because it paused all the interest on the student loans.
Okay.
But none of it's
So you were able to pay just principal.
I was able to just pay the principal on it. And then if I would have stayed at the fire department, I could have gotten all that forgiven through the public servant student loan forgiveness program. But I didn't want to stay at the fire department for that long. But
You got it. You got it. Listen, you get somehow it can't all be just your
I
way.
can't get every loophole, but
You can't. You can't.
I'll
You
get
got
as many
away
as
with
I
some
can.
good stuff, man.
So yeah, that happened, and then this is the fun part. So I got all my ratings, but then I had 200 hours, 250 hours about, and then I need to go to the airlines. You need 1,500 hours, or 1,000 hours on a restricted ATP.
That's a lot.
So to get the airline transport, there's a big gap. You have to go from 200 hours to 1,500 hours, or 1,000 hours with a certain degrees that I qualified for. So I did that. But to get there, the only way to do it is to either go fly like pipeline patrol or aerial survey in some old plane with a horrible schedule in the middle of some freezing cold winter in the Midwest, or go someplace far away with a bad schedule, which obviously wasn't going to work for me. So the only other way is to teach. So I got my flight instructor certificate and to teach instrument. So I got 2 flight instructor certificates.
I didn't even know this.
Yep.
Wow.
So I'm instructing now. I'm only got 200 hours in the plane, and this is normal. Like most of the instructors don't have that many hours. And when you're instructing, the person that you're instructing is paying for the plane and your time, but you both can log the hours.
Well, yeah, you're up in the air. Well, I wouldn't see why not, right?
Yeah. So you're both logging the hours. So I started doing that.
Did you figure that out, or they just fell like, oh wait, this can work?
I knew that was going to eventually have to happen because you get this gap of you have all your certificates, but you don't have enough hours to get the last.
And you
certificate.
can't pay for all those flights.
Yeah. You can't pay for all those, but so I'm at the school teaching, and then I was at the school all day. I think I had 3 or 4 students that day, and I could only log 3 hours. It was all the time. Like a lot of it was teaching ground, walk around on the plane.
So you weren't getting as much airtime.
A bunch of other stuff, and I'm like, I don't want to do any of this. I just want the hours in the plane. So,
where's Chris gonna go with this? I'm ready. I'm strapped in.
I have enough income coming in through the fire department. So I'm like, let's go buy a plane. I'll get buy my own plane, and then I can teach in my own plane, and I can fly for longer in my own plane. And so I told Hillary, like, I'm buying a plane. And she's like, whoa.
Yeah, hold on one second. What year is this? Where are we, dude? Holy crap.
Yeah, this is around 2018, I think.
Still, you're still in the...
Yeah, so I'm still at the fire department. And then, so I found a plane that I liked. It was up in Oregon. And then it was the winter time in Oregon, and I couldn't get the plane out of Oregon. So like, I'm trying to go up to finish this deal to get the plane. And I just tell Hillary one day, I got to go up to Oregon today and go grab this plane.
She doesn't know you're about...
She's like, what? And I'm like, yeah, I bought a plane. She's like, you
I'll be
bought
right back.
plane?
I'll be right back. I'm just stepping out for a few hours. Just going to get this plane.
She's like, you bought a plane? What? I'm like, yeah, I bought a plane.
How did you buy the plane? So how did...
I took out a HELOC on the house and bought
Which I love HELOCs.
Yep. Went and bought the plane.
You're investing in yourself, but you bought a plane.
Yep. I bought the plane.
Damn.
So then I could teach in the plane. And so then I would poach students. I got the plane eventually back to Vegas. Had to hire a guy to help me fly it down there and everything because I hadn't been in this plane before. And it was
So I want to stop you right here. Hold up your story. So I know something about Chris because we went to Tomorrowland, became friends, and then we tried to plan out the next couple of Tomorrowlands. But Chris is like me. Your planning and strategy is so freaking on point. How to save money, simultaneously get to a plane to I remember you because I would always buy the global journey package for Tomorrowland. That would be $4 or $5 grand. And it's simple. You buy the package, the plane's there, you go to JFK, fly there, the bus is there, but you figured out how to get a $500 flight to Amsterdam, take a train, and all these methods, and you literally can get everything you want for under 2 G's. So your brain works so well. I think you love that because I love that too. Trying to figure out, not to cheat the system, but what is the best way to go
find the
about
way
it.
to make it the most efficient.
I love it. I freaking love it.
Because when you do the travel package for tomorrow, they're going to charge a premium to book the flights for you. And
yeah.
I can be a travel agent. I can book flights.
You could be the travel agent. You could be the pilot. You could be, I don't know at this point.
I can figure out trains
yeah.
So I could figure out a better way to do it without having to pay someone for the convenience of doing it. But yeah, I bought the plane. And then a couple months later, I had
how much was the plane?
It was like 50 grand, 45 grand. So not that much.
Okay. All right.
So it wasn't huge. And then with that plane, I had
what type of plane was it?
It was a Mooney. It was a 1974 Mooney. So it wasn't a Cessna. It's the lowling one.
Just one propeller in the front?
One propeller in the front, same engine.
Did you have a scarf and goggles?
It was all enclosed, but it was 1974. The thing was very well built. I've seen pictures of them crashed, and it is built like a tank. Like I would have no problem.
And let me speak for Hillary for a second. Is she like losing? Okay, my husband he became a firefighter. I'm worried about his well-being, being a firefighter, getting her on the job. Oh, he wants to go do something else. Oh, let's be a pilot. And then not just like Is she like worried that you're flying one of these small planes?
I think so. I think she was worried. I got her in the plane once, and we were gonna go flying, and I started it up, and everything's rattling and shaking, and then you gotta exercise that we call it. You got to do a run up with the prop. You got to exercise the prop to make sure it twists and does everything it's supposed to be doing, and you're not having misfires. And I got her to that, and she said, "Absolutely not." She said, "Forget it." And that was on that plane, because and then another guy bought half the plane with me.
Oh, so you already damn.
That saved a ton of money, and then we'd fly together, and then we would both poach students from the school, because the school's charging $200 an hour for their plane, and then want another $80 an hour for the instructor, whereas I could go work an overtime shift at the fire department and be like, hey, you fly with me for $50 an hour, $80 an hour, which covers the fuel and the maintenance. I'll teach for free, but I want to fly for 10 hours today. I'd take that plane and fly from Vegas all the way to El Paso, fill up the tanks, and then fly all the way back.
Before this podcast started, me and Chris were talking. He was talking about my schedule and all the things I do, real estate, the podcast, my W-2 and everything. My life's a joke compared to what you have concocted.
Yeah, I guess it'd be like a random Thursday. I'm we're flying to El Paso real quick.
Why not?
And fill up the plane and then fly all the way back. And
you got to pay for fuel. Fuel's not cheap.
Yeah, you got to pay for fuel. I'd have to map it all out, and I'd use all the different planning tools.
What were some regulations with the airlines? Did you have to obviously have it? How routinely the inspections and whatnot with the plane?
Yeah, I guess if I was teaching through a school, the plane would require 50 and 100-hour inspections.
Okay.
But I wasn't teaching through the school. It's just Chris and his plane.
Chris and his plane, ladies and gentlemen.
So it need an annual inspection every year from a certified mechanic. That's usually around $3 or $4 grand.
Okay.
And they come up with a list of all the things that are broken on it, and you have to come up with money to fix them all. Oil changes. When you own the plane, you can do your own oil change.
Are you doing that too?
Yeah, I was doing the oil change. It's not a big deal.
Of course, he's a man.
Yeah, just warm it up, drain the oil, pop the filter off, put a new filter on. The hardest part with the airplane, everything's safety wired. So I had to buy these special pliers that twist wire, and that is an art. I got a lot of respect for these mechanics that can safety wire things, because on a car you don't have to safety wire anything, but on the airplane you have to safety wire.
Yeah, there's
a little bit more security, because you can't just pull over in an airplane when something.
Oh no, you can't. Oh no, the car stays on the ground, and this thing's just I don't know, we'll put you up in the sky.
I would change the oil. I could put air in the tires, certain things. We did a couple upgrades on the plane. I put a little computer on there to make tell me more about how fuel efficient it could be with certain temperatures.
Did you get one of those iPads in it where you could?
Yeah, everything when you're flying is done on the iPad.
Okay.
All your planning. You used to see pilots carrying around a giant briefcase full of charts. Now everything's on the iPad.
Yeah.
And there's one app on there for flights. It's $300 a year to have this app, but it's got everything you need.
My uncle had that when we used to go flying with him. I remember the plane not having it, and then one time I got in the plane, he had that freaking iPad right there.
It's got all your maps. It's got all the charts. It's got all the frequencies that you need. I don't know. You can't fly without it now. Everyone has an iPad, and it's kind of funny. There's some ATC videos. It's people's iPad dies, and then they're up there helpless. They don't know what to do.
It's like if your phone dies and you're driving out of the country, you don't know where you are.
Yeah.
Well, come on, you grew up with it too. It was you pulled out the map and you would
had a
have
big
to,
map book. It was called the Thomas Guide back then. It was all on grids and now that's all long gone. Or now people look at me, if you're old, if you ever printed out MapQuest instructions.
MapQuest, yeah, that was the thing.
I remember you like print out the MapQuest instructions. Like,
I'm just trying to go to the mall.
How times have changed on that. Like you don't have a GPS on you now. You're like lost.
I think the funniest thing that happened to me, and Alexa's gonna love that I told this story. So we went to Florida, and we went to go see one of Alexa's family members, and one of her family members is just so out of like touch and date. So this was like 2019, 2018, and he goes, I'm driving. He's like, you want to know what I got? I'm like, what? I got the new TomTom. I'm like, okay. He's like, this GPS gives you live traffic, all this stuff. And I'm looking at it. I'm like, and it costs like $300. I'm like, you're fully aware that the phone has the app that just does everything. But he was so out of touch.
Right.
This was like the groundbreaking thing to him, and he wouldn't stop talking about the GPS for like 20 minutes.
TomTom.
The TomTom. You know exactly what I'm talking about.
I remember those. Oh, man. Yeah, now like you're lost without it. So, yeah, bought that plane, got all the hours I needed in it. I had done a couple of the airlines, the regional airlines at the time had cadet programs. And so I signed up for as many of those as I could. So
while being a firefighter, while being a full-time dad, while everything.
Yeah, these cadet programs, they didn't require too much. Like I had two of them. One with the airline that I ended up working for at the regional airline. I was in their program. And then the other one was Air Wisconsin, which is now, they're almost bankrupt. They're almost out of business completely. But as part of being a cadet for them, I had to do, they sent me like 2 little educational things a month that I got paid for, like $50 to do their little computer education. But I also got United flight benefits. So I'm at the bottom of the chain on United flight benefits, which was great. And then COVID happened.
Ooh.
So I'm in their cadet program. I was supposed to go to the other regional airline that I was in their cadet program in April of 2020. I'd finished all my ratings, everything. And I was supposed to go there. And then the next one, or then COVID hit, and they said, hey, don't come. We're not hiring anyone.
Do not come.
Yep. It was like a Trump meme right there. Do not come. Straight up.
Don't come.
Yep.
I'm not going to say the next line. We know where it goes.
We know where it goes. But yeah, they said, we don't have a job for you, so stay where you're at. And so I'm like, well, the fire department was fine because I was doing all the COVID stuff.
Yeah.
We're vaccinating everyone, and there's endless overtime. And so I was like, oh, this is okay.
This is life right now.
But that other company I was with, Air Wisconsin, I was a cadet for them. The flight benefits, they couldn't turn them off because when the COVID happened, they took money from the feds that also said they couldn't lay anyone off, and I was technically an employee. So they sent a letter trying to get all of us to resign and get off the books, and they offered us a lot of money, like a couple grand to resign. But I was like, I'd rather have the flight benefits, so...
No, that's not enticing.
And the planes are empty. So the standby tickets are...
I flew in 2021, me and Alexa, and we flew to Spain for $300 from JFK to Madrid. Nobody was on that plane. We went there. Then we took a bullet train to Barcelona. Then we took a plane to Sicily. Again, nobody on the plane. Just traveling during COVID was... Oh my God.
It'll never happen again.
Oh my God.
Like, we were going all over the place. We go to Mexico, we go to St. Thomas.
Oh my God. And it's just rows of seats, empty. It's like, because I was like, what kind of seat I want? I want a good seat by the window, by this, and map everything out. I'm just like, no, just book a seat. You're just like, the planes are
going to be empty. So.
And like, you hear the door shut. I'm like, is anybody else coming on this plane?
Yep. It was nuts.
That was wild.
Yeah,
that was wild.
So I had all those flight benefits then, and we were just going all over the place, and it was great. And then in November of 21, ended up going to the regional airline.
Yeah.
And I'm still at the fire department at this time. And so I'm starting to, I had saved up a bunch of vacation for that year and the year before.
By the way, during this whole process, obviously your firefighter buddies, they knew what was going on, right?
Yeah. My captain, you're kind of like in your station, And they could tell like I was kind of like,
On your way
Chris
out.
was taking a lot of vacation. So I took a bunch of vacation for that first type rating, which when you get a type rating, it's not like the Cessna anymore. Any plane over 12,000 pounds, you need a special class with a simulator and everything, any jet, and you have to know the systems, and you have specific training on that specific aircraft. Wow. Which takes like anywhere from every 3 to 6 weeks normally. And you're gone. I couldn't work at all. And you have to focus on that because it's a training program. It requires all your focus. So I went to Denver for that to go learn that first airplane, and I burned all my vacation. And then
Literally, he burned all his vacation.
Yeah,
Good pun.
All my vacation that I had saved up, I used on that, and it was great. And so I learned all that, and then everything's timing. Like the amount of how timing works in every industry it's insane. Because I finished training for that, and then I'm at the bottom of the schedule. In the airlines, everything is seniority based. How good your schedule is, what base you get, what airplane everything is seniority based. And so I'm at the bottom of the seniority. So I have no control over my schedule. But then the timing just hit right. That shortage that I mentioned earlier, that hit. And they didn't have enough.
And what year was that?
This is 2021.
Okay, so
COVID is ending.
Well, a lot of pilots did click because they didn't want to get vaccinated. They said, "I'm over this." So just
and a lot of guys retired early.
Yeah,
and left. And so I'm the first. What's the first called? The first officer. I'm the co-pilot. The second guy. We're both trained exactly the same. The captain has the final word, and he has some other responsibilities like the logbook maintenance, that kind of stuff. But we're both trained exactly the same to fly the plane. But I'm the first officer. I'm at the bottom of the seniority, and then we ended up getting a big raise because the supply and demand. There's not enough pilots.
So you're working for the airlines right now.
I'm working for the airlines and
the
fire
department. Okay, great. He's putting out fires and helping people while he's up in the air.
Yep.
What a guy.
So I'm doing both, and then in July of that year, so I'd gotten released from training like April, May, sometime around there, and then in July, the airline I worked for, they made all the first officers that had enough experience and time, they were forced to upgrade to captain. A lot of them don't want to do it because when you upgrade, your relative seniority goes back down. And so the schedule you could have had as a first officer, you can't have as a captain. There's not enough room. But the airline said, hey, we need more captains. And anyone that's eligible to be a captain, you're going to be a captain.
So it was like a double. You had becoming the first was it the first?
The first officer,
and then the captain had to be pushed out, and I guess
So all these people that were more senior to me as first officers, they got forced to be a captain, and their quality of life, their schedule is going to go down, and then it shot me to the top immediately. I switched bases from Los Angeles to San Francisco, and I'm bidding number 6 in San Francisco out of like 200 people, just based off the timing. So I'm king of my schedule at that point, which is great. So,
but I just want to mention something. I know you mentioned all the timing and everything, and yes, it got lined up there. I think there is a form of luck, but there's also that portion of you're literally working every single day of your life, and you're plugging away at something that is very demanding in both spectrum. I don't care. Even if you're having fun, it's a lot, man. It's a lot. And it's like we were talking about, like people already had this self-entitlement and stuff. It's just like you worked your way to that point, but obviously because you put yourself in that position, you were able to accelerate.
Right.
You're already there. So like I know you're mentioning the luck. It is, but also you're there.
Yeah, you got to make yourself be at the right place in the right time.
Correct. Right.
And have a wife that holds everything together while you're doing all this with 2 young kids. So yeah, this is 2021. All that happened. 2020. We're in 2022 now, and then I'm king of my schedule. It's great. I'm building my airplane schedule around my fire department schedule. So I'm doing both, but it's starting to
bleed over.
I can't do both forever.
Yeah.
And then I got to enough hours at the regional airline to where they sent me
the 1,500 hours.
No, I'm over 1,500 now.
Okay.
I'm at I need 1,000. Once you get to the regional airline, once you have 1,000 hours in the regional airline, then you're eligible to be captain over there.
Okay.
And I hit, I think, around like 750 hours at the airline flying the jet. And then I got the notice to congratulations, you're going to be a captain.
Oh, they.
And, and then also it said, the lowest base right now, or the least senior base, is Chicago. So you're going to Chicago.
Congratulations.
Congratulations. I was like, that's not going to work.
Going to O'Hare.
Yep. And at that point, the fire department had caught on about what was going on. I had permission to work 2 jobs, but I didn't have permission to call in sick to the fire department to work.
Yeah, and you can't.
job.
I don't blame him, man, because it's you have to. The whole idea of you being off is for you to rest.
Right. So yeah, one night I remember I was in Memphis and the chief called, and he's like, not the chief, but the operations chief. Still really high up there, and he's a nice, fair guy. And he's just like, Chris, you got to pick a job. He's like, I have enough information now to say that you're not using sick time for what it was supposed to be used for. And because of past generations of firemen that they had a whole sick leave scandal abuse kind of thing going on well before I was ever there. But they have the rules set in place to where if you call in sick, it needs to be a legitimate sick call. And he's pretty much told
I'm
me,
sick.
he pretty much told me that, hey, I know what you're doing. And he's like, you have 2,000 hours of sick time, but you can't just use it to work another job. And I was like, hold on, let me call the union. Called the union. Union's like, we agree with the fire chief. We're not backing you on this. And if you fight it, you might lose, and you'll have to be forced to pay back monetarily the sick time that
So
you
take
took.
it easy there, champ.
So told the union, like, hey, figure it out for my 2 weeks. I'm done.
Wow.
Call the
what
chief
year,
back.
when was that? What's the time?
This is winter of 23, February of 23.
Was that a big thing for you?
Yeah, because I had worked so hard to get on the fire department.
Of course, yeah.
That first academy that didn't go so well for me. I blew out my knee in that one.
Yeah.
And then there's a career. Like, I'm giving up some of my pension.
But at this time, before they caught on, you did have to pick a path. Was it the pilot, or did you just want to be a firefighter and then?
I wanted the option. Like,
you wanted the whole cake.
Yeah, I wanted all of it.
You want the whole cake.
And
It just wasn't
I
realistic.
can't have it. I can't have everything.
Yeah.
The story of my life. I want it all, and I want it all right now is the best way to sum that up. But yeah, he told me to pick a job, and so I picked, and that was that. And it was my 2 weeks, and that was kind of eye opening. I'm like, I'm all in now. Like, I'm really all in.
But I love that term. I love the term all in.
Like, my chips are the cards are laid out, and now it's just time to go.
Wow.
So that was that. And I knew I didn't want to be a captain at the regional airline. It's kind of a dead end path for me, is what I thought. I'm not ready to go commute to Chicago and work a horrible
Absolutely
schedule.
nonsense. You put too much into all this to just get back.
I'm not going to stay. I'm like, my goal wasn't to stay on the small jet. So then I had good control of my schedule, and the timing was right again. And so I could move on. And so I interviewed at 4 other airlines, all in the span of like 2 weeks.
Uh-huh.
I wore the same suit to all the interviews.
Nice.
So
Did you shower?
Yeah, I did shower and shave for each
Okay,
one.
good.
But yeah, I did wear the same suit.
Do you have to be clean shaven?
In the United States, yes.
Really?
Yep. For the same thing with the fire.
So it's
the
like
mask that we wear.
You'll never have a beard, my friend.
Well, that's the odd thing, because in Europe they have proven that the beard does not interfere with the mask, and now it's just
Well, that makes sense.
Now it's just a United States grooming standard thing of, we want you clean shaven.
Can you even grow a beard?
It comes in kind of patchy sometimes.
So don't even worry about it.
Yeah,
Don't grow it. Don't do it.
I did have a mustache once, and Hillary did
Grow
not
that.
like that.
Grow that. Yes.
Hillary did not
Mustache.
Like it. Yeah, Hillary didn't like that mustache. No beard. Yeah, interviewed at all those places. Went to one place for a year.
Mm-hmm.
And going there got me to where I am today at a different airline.
That's great, man.
So, guys, I had to go outside of one airline to another one. They called it the double quit, is what all the other people were doing.
I don't know. There's a lot of quitting, but it's quitting to get to the next level. That's all I hear.
It's quitting to go somewhere. Like,
Yeah, not quitting because you
can't be employed by two airlines at the same time. So
it's kind of like the fire department. You gotta pick a side.
You got to pick a side. So went to one, and it was great. And then that airline ended up getting purchased by another one recently. So, and then I had the opportunity to go where I'm at now, and it was definitely the right decision, and I love it. So it's just getting to go all over the place, make my own schedule. I'm at the bottom of the seniority list, so I'm definitely.
Yeah, they put him in Manhattan. They
Yeah.
put him over here.
I do stay in Manhattan sometimes and all over the place, but It's not all.
Have you been flying the plane and Hillary's in the plane too?
Not yet.
That's freaking would be interesting.
Yeah, not yet.
So when's tomorrow? We're going Tomorrowland. Are you flying us?
No, I don't. The plane I fly now doesn't. It won't.
Oh,
doesn't
go there.
have the range.
It doesn't have the range. Okay.
Does not have the range. The one I used to fly for that other airline before this one would have the range, but.
Quick question. That movie. What's the movie with Denzel Washington?
Flight.
Okay. Would that really happen? I thought that was such horse crap. The plane flipping upside down. The whole thing. Did it even really happen? I don't even know.
It never really happened. There was a similar incident though with an Alaska plane off the California coast that had the same problem with the jack screw.
And he flipped it.
Yeah, it went inverted, and that one actually crashed.
So it didn't work.
Denzel pulled it off, but
of course he was half in the bag. Is that right?
I guess in theory it was a good movie, and I think
it was a great movie. I'm just like I just saw it. I'm like, but I remember watching. I'm like, this is just ridiculous.
Yeah, I think that movie highlights a lot of the mental health and other aspects.
Well, yeah, of course,
pilots have, and they can't talk about it or anything.
Well, how do you keep yourself straight, man? I mean, from fire service to that. I mean, there's just all this physical and mental thing, man. You're a special breed.
I enjoy it. I never saw myself sitting in an office.
No. Oh my God.
I never really. I don't see my boss ever. If I do what I'm supposed to do at work, I just show up to work, do what I'm supposed to do, and leave. I don't see my boss ever, and I think that's probably one of the best things. Some people hate their jobs and hate their boss, and my job's great.
Of course, you get to do something that you love.
I look at my schedule. I go where I'm supposed to go, do what I'm supposed to do, and then I'm done. And then another thing, you're like today when I'm hanging out with you, your phone's ringing. You're constantly dealing with business and other stuff. When I'm off work, there is nothing for me to deal with.
Yeah, I live in a different world, but I'm more of the. I enjoy everything I do.
Right.
But I enjoy all the conversation. I love talking to people. But you mentioned that in the car. Like now you went from a firehouse where you're sitting with all you guys and now what? You're sitting in a hotel by yourself now, right?
Before I became I never ate alone. I grew up with family dinners.
Yeah.
My dad always came home for dinner. And I guess in college I had roommates and I'd always be eating with people.
Yeah.
Firehouse, you don't eat alone in the firehouse. Someone's always in the kitchen, and you always eat dinner like a family.
Yeah, I'm probably making a cake and fucking it up.
Yeah.
Right?
So yeah, and then as a pilot, you
know what you need to do? I'm sorry to cut you off, but you know what you got to do? Every time you do come home from these trips, you just have that dinner with Dad. Are you doing that?
Yeah.
Okay, good.
I'm usually the one cooking too. It's kind of funny.
Why, Hillary doesn't cook? Are we playing a spot?
I did not marry Hillary for her cooking skills.
I mean, you remodeled your kitchen. You asked me for advice. How's the kitchen?
Oh, the kitchen's great.
Great.
It looks amazing.
I'm very happy with
I got my 48-inch stove in there.
I'm redoing my house right now. It's a nightmare.
Yeah. So the kitchen looks great, but Hillary has a lot of other skills, and she never liked to cook. I don't think.
It's okay.
I don't think she.
Listen, she did. She took care of the kids and your lifestyle. She did a lot for you, man.
Yeah,
and
she's got a lot of other indispensable.
She better get a plaque or something, man. I mean, God.
More business.
Shout out
seats.
to you. Shout out to her. Well, I do have to shout her out because she was there in 2020. You guys were there in 2017 at Tomorrowland when I proposed to Alexa.
That's where Hillary's. But she's the social one. I'm more of an introvert. And
yeah, you're very quiet. Like when you got in the car, I'm just like, oh my God, I forgot what your voice sounds like.
Yeah, I'm definitely the quieter one. She handles all the social aspects of my life, and it's way easier that way. And I can be on the plane and fly the plane, and I can be the fireman and an emergency scene. But I need her. Like if we're at a social event and I don't have her with me, I'm lost.
Oh, you really are?
Yep.
Yeah. See, I love bringing Alexa around. She just compliments me. I brought her to my holiday party, and at one point, she high-fived my boss. So I was like, "Oh, here we go." Here we go. Dude, what a freaking wild ass story. And I knew some elements of it, but do you still own the plane? Or
No.
You sold it?
Plane is sold. There's actually a second plane in there that I didn't tell her about buying either. This guy's
just running around with airplanes and fire trucks.
Yeah, when the airline told me to wait, they're not hiring me right now because of the COVID. I was like, well, I need more time, and I need time in a plane with two engines because there's single engine and multi-engine. So I went and bought a multi-engine plane.
You being an engineer in the fire department, did that help with understanding the plane mechanics?
Yeah, I think more of it was my dad when I was young. My dad worked for GM, and he had wrenches, and I was taught how to do a brake job when I was like 12, and oil changes. And
do you do your oil change now in your own pickup truck?
I can, but it is more efficient with my time to pay $20. But I don't trust the oil like Jiffy Lube or any of those places, so I always bring my own oil and filter and tell them to use that. And
you would. You so would.
Because I don't trust them with it. So yeah, but it's more efficient of my time. And then getting rid of the oil too, like you gotta store it, and then you gotta bring it to the store and like dump it in their bin and everything. So it's just easier to pay the $20-25 and get it done with.
All right, you ready to have some fun?
All right, you got questions?
Oh, well, do you know the questions already?
No.
Okay. So actually, there's a few questions I do want to ask. So first and foremost, I gotta dive into music background a little bit. All right. What is your favorite electronic sound? What is the genre that gets you?
From electronic music, it would definitely be trance.
Okay. How do we get? So actually, let me back it up a second. How did you fall in? What was the moment, the song that said, "I got to start listening to dance music now"?
Ooh.
Yeah.
That was probably. It's gonna be an old one for you.
I'm ready.
In 2011, EDC came to Vegas.
Was that the first go?
That was the first Vegas one.
It was originally in California.
It was originally in California, and I went with my buddies in 2011, and Swedish House Mafia played.
Okay.
And they played, oddly enough, a remix of a Lady Gaga song called Judas. And that, with the drop in there and the lights and everything, that blew my mind that night. And
why did you go? So, like, how did you get to EDC Vegas? Like, you friends just say,
yeah, friends on the ambulance at the time in 2011, like, hey, let's go. It's happening right here. Like, it's not a big deal. Like, I like Swedish House Mafia. Like, I've heard a couple of their songs, and went, and they played that, and that night I was hooked. I thought it was the coolest thing ever. So
trance is there. All right, who's the number one trance artist?
I don't know. Tiesto just came back into trance, but
I heard the set. It was.
I was there for it.
Okay, all right. So how was the revamp of Tiesto coming back? The ending was insane. Okay, I'll give you that. The ending when he started playing strings, I got choked up. Yeah. I got choked up.
It was everything I thought it could be, and when he dropped Traffic, I was blown away. I was like, this is. I thought I missed this because that was way back. We had stopped playing trance in like 2011, 2012. Like. It was done with trance.
2011, EDC, Electric Zoo, and I saw Tiesto, and he dropped Traffic. I was just like...
Because in that time, he was starting to go more mainstream.
He was, yeah.
And then I thought I'd missed that whole thing, and now I'm the boomer, or I'm the old millennial.
You are.
Going to see Tiesto to play trance. But I don't know, I think Armin has probably done the most for trance, and
yeah, he definitely does. He has definitely kept things on track. He definitely kept the ASOT was definitely a big thing for a while. Like he went to Madison Square Garden a few times, and that was great. Definitely upcoming artist.
I think he can play trance, but a lot of times, like when he's playing main stage, it's not trance at all anymore.
That's what bothers me about Armin, but I still love the guy so much. He's so. I mean, I met him.
That's why I'll go to ASOT all the way in Rotterdam to watch him play trance because I know what I'm going to get.
Yeah, of course. So Armin,
Ferry Corsten, a couple of other older ones.
I love the song Punk. Oh man,
I know BT's coming back now.
Really?
Yeah, Hillary was all excited.
BT. Yeah. I remember when I first heard Tiesto, it was 2000.
2000.
Yeah. See, I've been listening to electronic dance music since I was 8 years old because every time I go to Italy,
that's all there is.
That's all it was. It was dance music, and it was all Italian songs. But I remember certain artists that you popped up, and then like Tiesto, that sounds familiar. And I'm like, and then one of my friends that I met at Electric Zoo in 2011, that was my first festival too. They're like, "You guys see Tiesto? I have a tattoo." And then I'm like, "Yeah, Tiesto." And now, let's see. You think he's gonna hold up with the trance, or it's just a gimmick?
I think he's a businessman.
And he's playing the pyramids.
Yeah, I think he's 56, and I don't think he wants to do this forever. And take one last ride with it, see how it goes for a couple years. It's like
interesting.
Everyone like dogs on David Guetta.
I think David Guetta is incredible. I don't,
I think
he's a commercial guy.
He's a commercial. He saw where the money was at in pop, and he went for it. And you can't fault him for that.
I would do the same thing.
But I've seen him DJ like in a club and some other places, and it's amazing. It's
Yeah.
like he's number one for a reason, and it's not just like, oh, he did all these pop songs with Rihanna and
Dude,
Sia and everything else.
The
But
Kid Cudi remixes, man.
he really can play, and he can play to the crowd.
Yeah.
And I've watched Armin do the same thing. Like all the great DJs like can do that, but
What was the show that blew you away
for who?
in general? There's a show. I have my show in my head. I'm just curious. What was your?
This is the Swedish House Mafia 2011 EDC.
That was it.
That was it.
It was
Sunday night, and I'd never seen lasers like that. I'd never seen lights like that. I'd never seen everything timed like that. And
Can we set the record straight about electronic dance music? Like, I get it. It's a very weird concept. The fact that there's over tens of 20,000s of people huddling in front of a stage to watch one person hit a play button.
Yeah, it's definitely different.
It's just like, and because my father-in-law, he's just a big musical background. Like, he just doesn't understand it because he loves Bruce Springsteen. He loves seeing artists play. I'm not discrediting that, but I used to be a DJ too. But I understand when it's an energy. It is an energy thing that happens. Yes, you can go up there and hit the play button, but to read a crowd and figure out what is going to be the next track and keep things moving.
Right.
It's a skill and an art.
It's like what Shaq says. Shaq plays as DJ Diesel, and he says the only reason he does it is because the crowd makes him feel like he's at the NBA Finals every time.
Really? Is that what he said?
And he's like,
I just wanted to go see him. I saw him at the DJ booth. I think they had to get a bigger DJ booth for him.
He doesn't even play like the genre I like that much, but he puts on a show, and it's exciting, and you can tell he loves it.
Oh, yeah.
And he loves it. And he's like, well, why are you doing this? And he's like, that crowd out there, it makes me feel like I'm at the NBA Finals again. He's like, I can't get that feeling anywhere else. And
that's good, wow.
Because to be honest, EDM is, I don't know, makes up like being generous, like 15% of all music listened to.
100%.
Like,
there's so many genres.
But you look at the festivals, EDC is the biggest one in Vegas, and it's brought over like $1 billion in revenue over the course of time. Like I know Taylor Swift sells out stadiums left and right, but
you have an EDC week in Vegas.
It's the amount of people that want to go to the live shows and the show they put on. I don't see shows like that anyplace else.
Yeah,
I can go to a Metallica concert and there's some pyro, but nothing like that's not all timed to the music, and there's not a stage with waterfalls. And
I mean, I see Metallica. The Death Magnetic tour was pretty badass. They had coffins that drop, but I get it. They had a 360 stage.
Yeah,
it's a different element.
It's definitely a different element. And like I've seen the Stones play, and like it's a great show, but it's not, to me, it's not the same.
Yeah.
And I don't know, like some of it, I know it's not all just pushing a play button. Like
it's not.
Some of it is. Some of it's pre-recorded, and that's okay with me.
You're okay with a pre-recorded set?
If I'm in a nightclub, I'd prefer it not be. But if I'm at like a stage to get everything timed, like to do all the lasers, and like I know that the software programs that time everything, it can't do everything.
Yeah, no, of course.
But I'm okay with the artist going up there and having a plan. But I also expect to hear some like new music or a different mashup or a different remix of something as well.
All right. Who's overrated?
DJ wise?
Yeah.
Let's see.
The name comes up, you're like, okay, enough of this.
I don't know. I don't want to be negative about that.
You don't want to be negative? Are you okay?
All right. A lot of Martin Garrix songs sound the same to me.
100%. He made Animals, and that was great, and that was it.
But a lot of them sound, it's like the same similar thing over and over again. I think Afrojack is kind of the same way with some stuff, but I think they also have some immense talent. So every once in a while, they get a really good track, and I really enjoy it. So I don't want to like...
No.
I don't want to walk it back, but I think a lot of Martin Garrix songs sound the same.
They do. Okay.
But I could say a lot of Armin songs sound very similar too.
Who would you love to see a collaboration of? Ooh. Or a back-to-back set? Yeah.
I don't know.
What was really weird, I saw Armin and Adam Beyer go back-to-back. That was weird.
Yeah, the trance and tech has been kind of in a marriage right now.
Yeah, and Nicole Madapper is kind of like putting that together.
Yeah, she's in there. So I don't know. I would like to see Eric Prydz with the rest of Swedish House Mafia. That never happened because they're both all perfectionists. Is what I would really like to see. because they're all such perfectionists and they demand like.
But that's just two different genres.
Yeah, I want to see it though. They both have put on amazing shows.
I could see Steve Angelo and Eric going back to back, but I don't know if Axwell and
Grosso and
yeah,
I don't know.
That's a good one, man. That's a really solid answer because you know how I feel about Eric Prince.
Yeah. I'd like to see that one or someone like. Went back in Tomorrowland, we were there with Eric Pritz and Deadmau5 played back to back. Like I haven't seen anything like that ever since.
I remember that day. I remember that. I have it all on my GoPro. And then, well, the first time I saw them back to back was right before Ultra. They played back to back. It was Prida versus Mousetrap, and they did not have their shit together.
No,
they were just jamming songs together. But then when I saw them, they were going to do the Tomorrowland one. Then like
I think they practiced a bit more.
100%. They finished with Opus and Opus. What was it? Opus and what's Deadmau5's other closer? Was it Develop? No, it wasn't Develop. Raise Your Weapon.
Raise Your Weapon.
Yeah.
So definitely that. Let's see. Other ones. I don't know. This is an old one back from AMF when Hardwell and Armin played as 2 as 1.
Oh yeah. They did that. I mean, they did a Electric Zoo. That was a big deal.
Yeah. So I always like those.
I loved Hardwell in the beginning because I saw Hardwell at 3 o'clock at the main stage at Electric Zoo, and I loved his old stuff, but I just couldn't get into his new stuff. I don't know.
Yeah, he went pretty hard tech for a while, but he'll mix in some of his old stuff or play classic sets, and I think I like him a lot too because he wasn't afraid to take a step back like 2 years ago. I think he saw the whole Avicii thing, and he's like,
I think that was very important. I'm glad he did.
I think I'm going to take a break for a little bit and just be Robert and a lot of respect.
That's his
for
name,
that.
Robert?
Yeah.
I didn't even know his name was Robert.
Yeah, I just wanted to take a break, and anyone that can step back and take a break and like give up all that, like
yeah,
because you can't keep a crazy life going forever.
No. What I remember seeing Skrillex at Izu at 3 o'clock at the small stage, and it was so packed out, and I just remember saying, this guy cannot be playing at this stage. This is crazy. This is 2011. And then the next year he closed out Electric Zoo. I think he was one of the many people. I think him was. I never seen a DJ play at 3 o'clock to jump with a spaceship closing out a main stage at a festival. It's so fast. Like,
well,
wow.
It's like you look at the John Summit stuff lately.
The guy is at first because I seen John Summit way before. And I liked his tracks, but to watch that kid get to that level so quickly was sells out Madison Square Garden within 10 minutes.
Yeah, just seeing him at Tomorrowland on the main stage there, and it was just nothing but a giant smile.
He's a fun guy. I
love that for him. I don't even think his music's the greatest, and I don't like his crowds.
It's his energy.
But his energy and the way he plays, I don't like his crowds over here. The crowds in Europe are way, way better. Over here
we go.
Over here, I'm the old guy, and I don't like it anymore. So
I don't like it anymore.
But over there, it's great.
All right, I got some questions for you. All right, I actually want to first start with this one. Is it overrated, underrated, or perfectly rated? So you're either going to say it's rated, it's overrated, underrated, or it's perfectly rated. I'm going to just say a thing, and you give me which classification.
Costco is perfectly rated to go off your Instagram this week.
Good. College degrees.
Overrated.
Remote work.
Ooh. I'm going to go overrated with it because I think...
I'm with you on that one.
I think it's been not as good as what everyone talks about.
It's not. I see lack of productivity. I personally like coming in and seeing people shaking. I'm a personal guy, and I think you get the most out of people. Again, it's energy and how you feel somebody. So that's just I'm with you.
Yeah, the relationship on a Zoom call is not the same as a relationship face to face.
Side hustles.
Underrated.
Yeah, I mean, come on. Saying no.
That's underrated.
Owning a house.
In today's times, I think that if you're there, it's underrated. Like the amount of
work. So like you living in your house right now, like do you feel like it's like everything you dreamed of, or just like
It's a lot of work, but it's also the best investment I've ever made.
Online courses.
Overrated. I think online degrees are a joke.
Cold plunges.
I don't know because I haven't tried it yet.
Yeah, really?
I'm interested. I'm sold on the Rogan thing for it, but
listen, you're going to all these hotels. There's a cold plunge one. You got to do one now. I love them. Electric cars.
Perfectly rated. I think in the middle.
Cancel culture.
Get rid of that one already. I'm sick of it. This whole offended thing.
Dating apps.
Underrated because it worked out for me, but
you had so explain. So I asked him, how did you meet Hillary, his wife right now? So how'd you meet her?
All right, so this predates Tinder. There was no swiping or anything. This was back in the first days of eHarmony. This was before Hinge, before all of the other ones. I met Hillary on Plenty of Fish.
Nice.
And it was because we both didn't want to pay for like some other website that would charge you for a subscription. This one was the free one. And then I think it had a little bit more, like we were talking about this earlier, but it had a little bit more effort than just a swipe. Because you had to the pictures were there, but then you had to read the profile and you got to play the numbers game too. Because you got to, on the dating apps now, it's crazy. The numbers are exponentially worse. But I figured back on Plenty of Fish for about every 10 to 20 messages I would send, I'd get one response back. And I got it back from her, and she said I had horrible pictures, but I made up for it on the first time we met. So here we are, 13 years later, 14 years later.
And you're still going strong.
And I wouldn't have it any other way.
Oh, this is a good one. Travel influencers. How do you feel?
Overrated. It is every pilot's biggest pet peeve. Is
really?
Any pilot that uses aviation to better or to promote themselves.
Ooh, and I guess there's guys. Yeah, there are people out there that do.
It's a shame because I think a lot of them have some good, but then they get thrown into putting their fitness routine over here and boner pills over here and their skincare over here, and then slinging this $400 bag over here, and then doing things that we don't do. Like one of them is famous. She will do her video of copying down a clearance. Every pilot can copy down a clearance. But
what's a clearance?
It's just when ATC tells you what your code is going to be on your transponder, which way you're supposed to go.
Are they allowed to be even doing that?
They're not supposed to. Every airline has a social media policy that, but some of it's looked away upon. But we don't. I
wouldn't tamper with anything like that because I know we talked about this. You got to be careful. I keep work separate.
I don't want my employer and my personal they're two completely separate things, and I don't need them on my Instagram or anything else. But it's all for show. It sends us a text message. We have a simple system that uses the radio or whatever, but it sends us a text message of all that stuff, and the radio is the backup when the text message doesn't work. But the text message always works, so there's no point in doing that. And they, all the whenever you see an influencer copying down a clearance, it's all for show.
Taking solo trips. You do it a lot now.
So. I do it a lot, and I think it's overrated. I hate I've gone all around the world. I've been to Japan, Korea, Europe. If I don't have my best friend there with me,
I'm the same way.
It's not as fun.
That's how I feel about Alexa. I don't like traveling without her.
Japan was great, but
it's overrated.
I would much rather eat ramen in Japan with Hillary rather than.
What's your favorite country?
Favorite country?
Yeah, what's a place you love going to? Don't say you're gonna say Belgium.
I don't like Belgium that much. I think Brussels is dirty, and I don't.
Just host my music festival.
Yeah, just host the music festival. The people are all right. I like the Netherlands a lot. I think. I'm not
because Armin's from there.
I'm not all down with their politics and all the other stuff, but I like that they're upfront with everything, and it's like a live and let live kind of thing. Their weather is horrible, but they try to make the best of it. But to me they're the most real people. They don't like something, they'll tell you.
Oh yeah, but Europeans are like that in that fashion.
Yeah, you want to go do something, go do it. We're not going to judge you for it. And I like that.
All right, pineapple on pizza.
Yes.
Yes,
underrated.
Underrated.
Oh. Underrated. Pineapple belongs on pizza. Like a Hawaiian pizza, it has its place, and I love it.
Group chats.
perfectly rated. I think
He runs the whole Tomorrowland community. Of course he does.
that has all like it's become too much now. The Facebook group that I've moderated for so long, it's got 10,000 people in it, but
It's time to pass the torch.
Well, it's not even time to pass the torch. It's become a ticket exchange is pretty much and to make money is like because
I used to get all my. You always help me out.
everyone
With Tomorrowland,
like it used to be like, hey, this is a festival in a foreign country. Like,
what do I need to do?
What do I need to do? What do I need to bring? How does this work? And like,
Yeah.
But now you can search all that, and I think Reddit has taken a lot of that. The group has become
Like a ticket
a
exchange.
ticket exchange, and then like
Boo.
there's been a ton of scammers and everything else. So I feel bad for it, but like that's everything on Facebook's gotten kind of. I think it's had its prime, and not very many people are active on Facebook anymore. It's become like Facebook marketplace and groups.
Yeah. New York bagels.
Overrated.
Oh man.
There's too much cream cheese.
Oh, here we go.
Too much cream
You're
cheese.
gonna get a lot of hate from my audience. Anyway, let's rip through these.
Pizza is the best with the bagels, man. There's so much cream cheese, but I do like. We were talking about the everything bagel. Outside of New York, the everything bagel, it doesn't have everything all over. It's just on the top. And then when I came here, like,
It's called an everything bagel, not a
I
top
was
bagel.
blown away that there's everything all over the everything bagel. I was like, I've been missing out on this my entire life.
We're gonna go through these fast now. These are rapid fire questions, so just answer. Favorite movie?
Top Gun.
Of course.
You knew that was coming.
Favorite book?
Ooh. Psychology of Money.
Ooh, that's a good one. Favorite store to shop in? You walk in there, you're like, yeah. It could be anywhere.
Ooh. Probably Best Buy still.
That's a good one, man. I'm with you on
I
that
miss
one.
it.
Yeah, it was always yeah. Favorite color?
Blue.
Favorite ice cream?
Chocolate peanut butter
Wow, that's an interesting one.
with
Fav-
brownie.
If you could have one superpower, what would it be?
To fly. Why even ask that one?
When you eat a hamburger, do you eat a burger entirely? Or I'm sorry, when you order a burger and fries, do you eat a burger entirely, then the fries, or do you eat the fries first, or do you mix them together?
I mix them together. The odd thing I do with the burger though is I flip it upside down half the time because the bigger bun holds more of the juice than the lower bun. And so I've noticed that I'm like to eat it cleaner, I flip it upside down a lot.
Wow.
Some weird trait about me.
That is. See, I would never get that answer if I didn't ask that question. Are you the type of person that puts one sock, one shoe on, then another sock and another shoe on?
No, both socks first, then shoes.
Netflix or Hulu?
YouTube.
Fuck Dan's question. We're just going to YouTube.
It's YouTube.
Beaches or mountains?
Beaches.
Laptop or desktop?
Desktop.
All-inclusive resort or exploring a city?
Exploring a city.
What do you call a cheese? What do you call cheese that's not yours?
Nacho cheese.
Yeah, hell yeah. How do you make a tissue dance?
I don't know.
Put a little boogie in it. Do you have any secret talents?
Secret talents.
Yes.
I can't snap.
Wait, like,
Yeah.
so you have something you can't do.
Can't do.
What was the last movie that made you cry?
That's
Have you ever cried? That's a better question. I feel
during
like
a movie?
Yeah.
I don't think so.
There was not one movie?
No, I don't. I didn't cry when Goose died in Top Gun. I'm not going to cry at all.
Oh, Goose. What is something you cannot live without? And don't say Hillary and your kids.
Something I cannot live without.
Yeah, so like for me, I know what mine is, coffee. I can't live without coffee.
Ooh.
Actually, maybe music for me. I don't know.
Can't live without
Yeah.
music.
What was your first email address?
What was it? S10punk03 at Yahoo. It was,
Yeah.
I had an S10 and then when I was 16.
What character do you use in Mario Kart?
Usually Yoshi.
You seem like that. What's the strangest thing in your fridge right now?
Ooh. I think Portuguese sausage.
I don't even want to get into it.
It's Hawaiian.
Of course. We got the Hawaiian. Okay. What's your guilty pleasure song?
Guilty pleasure song.
Do you even sing to music? I don't
Yeah.
see you sing. I can't see that. Anyway.
Cascada Because the Night is a guilty pleasure song right there.
That's a good
Cascada is my guilty pleasure in general.
What's your favorite band or artist?
Oh, it's still Armin van Buuren.
How many times do you think you've seen him?
Fuck.
That's like asking me how many times I've seen Eric Prydz.
It's over 50. It's how many continents have I seen him on, I guess is the next one.
How many continents?
3.
What's an overrated food?
An overrated food.
Yeah, so like I got in tacos, which I understand the hard shell and that made sense to me. What's like an overrated thing? Somebody's pitched it to you, you're like, okay. It's not
Kimchi.
Kimchi?
I do not like kimchi. It's like pickled Korean stuff. And some people love it, and it's like a delicacy. It's overrated.
What's your biggest pet peeve?
Ooh.
What bothers the hell out of you?
People that won't follow through.
Ooh, I'm with you on that one. What was the biggest risk you ever taken?
Definitely the career change. When I told the chief, here's my 2 weeks.
That was the biggest.
That was the biggest risk.
What do you call the stuff you put on pasta, the red stuff?
My grandma would call it gravy, but to me, it's the sauce.
Oh, but what do you say? Why does your grandma say that?
Because she's Italian. The sauce.
It's okay. You don't say. You say sauce.
Sauce.
All right. You're still good in my book.
It's always too sweet, though.
We're at the end. What a conversation, man. I can't fucking thank you enough. You're definitely one of those people. First of all, I'm very happy you're still part of my life. Even when I was going through certain difficulties, you still reached out to me and just made sure I was all right and checked on me. And I really do appreciate that. Even like we haven't really spent a lot of time with each other, but I guess the Tomorrowland family is forever.
We've both been busy.
Well, yeah, we've been very, very busy. And he agreed to this podcast. Now I have to go to Tomorrowland next year. Just got to convince Alexa.
I'll have Hillary work on it with her.
Okay, great. Let's see if that happens.
We'll bring a babysitter. How about that?
I don't think it's that. I think we just got to bring the kids there. That's the only way it's going to happen.
Bring them there and bring a babysitter. I think.
Yeah, why not? Are you excited to take one of your kids to like a festival?
We're actually we're going to ASA in February, and they're going to Europe for the first time. So I'm excited for that. And then my daughter's not really into the electronic music, but she...
it's because you're like, oh, I'm not listening to dad's music. That's weird.
Yeah, but my wife took her to Empire of the Sun, and she loved it. So
oh, really?
I'm sure she's going to love music, and I'm excited to... Even if I have to go see... She's not even that big of a Taylor Swift fan, but like some pop artist or something else, I'm just excited for her to experience that.
Of course. It's Alexa hates Eric Prince, but she loves when I see it because she enjoys like me. It's that thing. It's that. I can't wait to take my kids. I don't care what it is. I just want to see them enjoy what they like to hear. You know?
And then Dimitri Vegas like Mike remixed the Power Rangers song at Tomorrowland Brazil, and my son loved it.
I gotta check that out
because he has kids. It's kind of cool seeing these DJs that have kids, and he remixed the Power Rangers.
Oh, I always loved that.
And my son knew it right away. He's like, Power Rangers.
Chris, I can't thank you enough, pal. Before we sign off and completely, you got any inspirational message, anything you got to put out there to my audience? Because you went through a hell of a journey.
It's a journey, but don't ever give up on it. And if the timing's not right, the timing's not right. One of the other guys, you can have everything you want. You just can't have it all right now, I think is the best way to put it. And I'm probably not the best for that because I always wanted it right now. But
you timed it.
That's probably been the biggest lesson in my life is you can get everything. It's going to take some work and some effort, but you could have it all.
Thanks so much, man. See you next time. Peace.